The National Automobile Dealers Association says the GM and Chrysler closings will cost 200,000 jobs nationwide. For some communities already hit hard by the recession, the news is like a punch in the gut. Auto analyst, one of our favorites, Lauren Fix, joining me now from Buffalo. Lauren, great to see you.
Great to see you, too.
And Good Friday. You know, these closings of dealerships, what do you think here? A painful but necessary realignment?
Well, I think for a long time they've been trying to pare down some of these dealers. And, you know, if you've got a dealership that came from your family, the last thing you're going to want to do is close it down. Your grandfather started it. So, and besides, it's what you live off. It's what you do for a living. I mean, people go to, there's actually schools that teach you how to run dealerships. The last thing you're going to do is close it down because the manufacturer doesn't want you to be open.
Lauren, you know how we push here.
Yeah.
You didn't answer the question. Painful but necessary?
Yes, it's painful but necessary. I'm sorry, because I really feel bad because it's going to hurt everyone. It's going to cost hundreds of thousands of jobs once GM puts out their 1,000 to 1,200 different dealerships are going to close. It's going to cost people in taxes. It's going to affect radio and TV stations. It's going to affect community services. It's going to affect jobs, and it's going to impact the whole economy.
Okay, so as you just mentioned, companies have wanted to consolidate dealerships for some time now, but my understanding is that state regs made it very difficult to do this.
Right.
And bankruptcy makes it a bit easier to realign. And so here's the question, does the ability to realign dealerships make it more likely that GM will enter bankruptcy protection? What's your thought?
I'm going to be totally honest with you. I believe that, unfortunately, General Motors really, Fritz Henderson isn't making the final decision. I think our lovely Automotive Task Group is making the decision, and they're going to push them into bankruptcy because even with cutting of these dealerships and everything else, I think we're going to be in a position where General Motors is trying their best to keep 3 or 4 brands alive. Even with selling off brands, they're going to find themselves in a position where they're going to have to go bankrupt. It's the only way it's going to happen because with all these lenders and all these borrowers, the consumer's not buying cars. Even with this cash for clunkers thing, which I'm absolutely against, consumers are not all going to buy American cars, and that's what the government needs to wake up and realize.
Didn't I just hear you say, rather sarcastically, the lovely auto task force? You don't like what's going on here?
I've never liked that. I've said since day one on CNN, I'm not a fan of the CARSAR or their task group. There is not one person on that task group that has worked in this auto industry, and if you talk to the many talented people that are out there from every aspect of production, marketing, advertising, sales, nobody on that board actually has worked in the auto industry, has actually asked what consumers want. And as you've been putting on all day long, and I've been watching, people don't want these little teeny green cars. They want what they need, and that may not be the answer.
But they're not going to be available. You see where this is going. The train is on the track. It has left the barn. I'm mixing metaphors here. But you know where we're going. Those big vehicles are not going to be available in 3, 4, maybe 5 years.
Well, if you've got a work business, if you do bricklaying or flooring or you own a construction company, you need a truck, and you can't haul anything
Lauren,
with an electric car.
you'll be able to find a truck, but you know what I'm talking about, these SUVs.
I'm talking about a half-ton truck, some big working trucks, but for the rest of us, if you've got 5 kids, you can't get them all in a Prius very comfortably.
Well, that's true. Hey, talking about the dealerships and the closings of these dealerships, are the dealers going to be on the hook for whatever inventory is left here?
Well, in the Chrysler case, what they're doing, which I find really not fair to the Chrysler dealers that are closing, the 789 dealers, they're going to be connected with dealers that are within their area to purchase their parts, inventory, and tooling. For the General Motors people, we don't know yet, and there is not going to be a list from what I have been told. Currently, there is a conference going on with Mark LaNave, and I don't believe they're going to release that list because they're going to try and communicate with these people. We do know that about 500 dealers will disappear by attrition, but the other 1,000 to 1,200, they may just eliminate their franchise law, which is their agreement, which has always been the issue because there's laws in place.
Right. Lauren, as always, appreciate the give and take. Lauren Fix for us. Lauren, thanks. Have a great weekend.
You too.